Hi, welcome back to another episode of Coldstream Rod Shop. I'm Derek Fraser. This is the week between Christmas and New Year's. We're not going to get a whole lot of stuff done this week, but we are in the shop for a few days. The one thing I need to do is get the Brenda's Roadster's body off of the chassis. In last week's video, we got all the floor done, got the steering column in, got all the things we needed to do before the car's out, the body goes out to paint. So what I've got to do, like I said, strip everything off, get the body back on the cart that it came on, and we'll get her out the door and up to Jeff York's Restorations to get painted. We still have a few more things left we can do on the Camera Lady's chassis. I'm not sure what we're going to have time to do. I mean, there's some finish the exhaust off. We've got the two mufflers onto it now that finally came in. I can do some of the brake lines and stuff. There's a few tidy up stuff that we've got to do before that would get disassembled. I'm not sure what time we have. We've also been invited over to Gaudet's Hot Rods. We've been there before, but we can show you a few things that are going on over there that you haven't seen before. Show you an update on the Moncton Coupe, where it sits right now. But we'll include that in this week's video. So anyway, follow along and we'll see how far we get this week. Like I said at the beginning of the video, the biggest task this week is actually to get the body off and get it back on the cart that came with it. Now, the cart that came with it was a homemade thing. It was good for rolling around the shop. It came with those little round wheels there, which unfortunately do not like to roll in the gravel driveway. So one of the things with the snow and the ice out there, we're probably going to have to put the body back on the cart and then push it up to the road to get back onto the trailer so it can go out. So I spent the morning here just, what if you want to call it, MacGyvering up, or I went around looking for some old wheels. We got some rubber wheels and a couple axles that I use for moving some of the other stuff around. Reinforced this cart a little bit. We put a little bit of some gussets there between the posts in case something digs in. We don't want the post to tip off, so got that reinforced. Like I said, this is not 32 Ford stuff, but it's the stuff you got to do to move the 32 Ford around. So anyways, we got the cart ready. What I'm going to do now is I am going to start taking the windshield frame off, the steering column out. We'll undo the bolts inside, and then I'll get my lift going again in the engine stand. I do have to clean up a little bit of stuff on the firewall there once I get it off, because when I welded the floor to the firewall, I had nice penetration, but I got to clean up that mess there. And then the sheet metal actually is down a little further, so I'm going to make a nice little radius there and clean that up and then get it ready to go out. So making progress. Should be able to get this thing off this afternoon. The body's now off of Brenda's Roadster chassis. I've got it over here on the cart. It isn't quite screwed down yet. It's in the right position. We've taken the steering column and the windshield frame and everything off of it, as well as on the inside. I've taken out the transmission tunnel there, and then the little piece that covers up the pedals. I probably should have made that pedal hole there a little bigger because they barely fit into the hole. Anyway, note to myself for the next time I do this. And then on the front, what I had to do, because the transmission tunnel came up a little bit higher than what this firewall had an arch for, had to cut an additional piece out here because there was too much of an overhang. So I've got that cut out. I've just spot welded up some of the little through holes where I had the Cleco locks all the way through. You can weld them from the other side, but usually you've got to come around to the other side and fill the holes up. So cleaning that up, cleaning the firewall up here. We're going to bolt her or screw her down to the frame here, and it should be heading out to paint either later today or tomorrow. And then we'll carry on with some of the other stuff we have to do. This afternoon, I went back to work on the Camera Lady's Roadster. with a couple comings and goings in the shop right now. It gave us an opportunity to work on hers. As I mentioned probably a couple episodes back, the mufflers finally came in. I chose to go with a turbo muffler. I wanted a little bit quieter muffler than what I was used to with some of the straight flow ones. I like a little bit of rumble. I just don't like a whole lot of tremendous amount of drone or anything like that. And I struggled over with the 32 pickup before, like I had talked about with some of that. So this time out, I decided to go with the traditional turbo mufflers, which are like, it's not straight through, it's chambered, so that has to go in a couple different ways in there, and I think it's should be drone free. Used these many years ago in my Camaro and my Challenger. I think I had a Mustang too with the same thing onto it. That was the way to go back in the 80s and 90s, was to use these. So going to give it a try on this. If it doesn't work, I'm going to be using the muffler clamps like you see over there on Brenda's Roadster. We're using those removable muffler clamps. So if something changes, then we will just go back and undo it and put a different muffler on later. But so far what we've got done here, I've got the muffler on and positioned, got the rubber biscuits on, and so far made a couple pieces that go up over the rear housing. What I've got to decide now is whether I want to go out straight from the rear housing, go out underneath the frame horns, or actually come out on an angle behind the rear wheel. So I'm probably going to go look through a whole bunch of old Roadster journals and look at a bunch of 32 traditional highboy Roadsters and see where they put the pipes out, and make a decision from there. In the meantime, what we've got to do next is Brenda's Roadster body is going out for paint tomorrow. It's getting picked up. I was talking to the owner, and one of the things, as I've mentioned with the Flathead here, is that it doesn't have an oil pump pickup in it. Oil pan has to come off. There's no clutch or flywheel into it. It is a rebuilt motor. The heads are not torqued down. We're missing a distributor and a bunch of other parts. So we tossed around a couple ideas of him bringing the parts here and me doing it, but he actually has a shop of his own, has all of the parts there, and lives quite a ways away. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the engine and the transmission out. He's going to pick the body up and take it to Jeff York's Restoration. Then he's going to come back here and he's going to pick the engine and the transmission up, take it back to his place, make the rest of the additions and stuff to it and complete the engine. And then he's going to bring it back here and we're going to put it back in the chassis. So watch along, we're going to get that out. So it's a couple days later and we didn't get as much done as we planned. Some weather and the holidays kind of got in the way of things, and also a little ice in the driveway. Couldn't get a trailer in to pick stuff up. So the order of what was coming in and going to the shop has changed a little bit, but essentially we're back to where we are before. The 32 Roadster body still hasn't left. It's leaving tomorrow, so it'll be on next week's episode when it leaves. And then over here, the Flathead, still have to take it out of the chassis. So I've already got the drive shaft out, and then I've got the clutch mechanism out, and as well as emergency brake cable off of it. So right now I'm in the process. I just have to drop the transmission mount there and then lift it out. And then what I'll do is I will try and put it on that little cart down there. I'm trying to do a little video here of me talking to you versus me pointing at stuff. So we'll give this a little bit of a go. Still haven't figured out how to switch the camera around here. Gonna try, no, that doesn't work. So anyways, what I'm gonna do here now, I'm gonna get the engine out, gonna get it on the cart. We're gonna get everything ready so it'll leave here tomorrow. There it is, the Flathead and the S10 transmission is out of Brenda's Roadster right now. I've just got it sitting on this wooden dolly with wheels on it for now, just most of the weight resting on it. The gentleman that owns this, he has his own little dolly that he's going to bring here. We're going to put the engine and the transmission on it and then ultimately roll it up into his trailer to take back home. Like I said, he's going to complete building the engine, including the intake, the carbs, the distributor, oil pan, pickup tube, clutch, flywheel, and all the accessories and stuff, and then it'll come back here. And then, like I said, the 32 Ford Roadster body is going out tomorrow. One thing I didn't mention is I was trying not to take those headers off and leave them on the engine, but unfortunately, just the way that I made the headers with the slip fit, I couldn't bring the engine forward to slip off of them, so had to take the headers off. Got all the bolts there and everything else. The transmission mount, I had to drop that to clear everything. But anyway, everything is all unbolted easily. Everything is out, ready to go tomorrow morning. Why don't you guys follow along here? We were invited to go over to Gaudet's Hot Rod Shop, show you some of the stuff that's going on there. I think you'll be interested into it. Anyway, come on with me over to Gaudet's Hot Rod Shop. Today we're at Gaudet's Hot Rod Shop. We've been here before. This is the front entrance, a few of the engines and parts and stuff that he has here. Going to go over some of the projects that Tony has, Tony and his dad Tony. There are a few things for sale that we're going to go over, so we kind of want to plug those a little bit if anybody's interested. Right now, like Tony and Tony have the ability to do full chassis work. They have a full chassis jig. They've done from frame rails right up to complete cars. They've built many cars here before for themselves. Currently, there's a 48 Ford chassis here right now. There's a two-door sedan over in the other building we'll show you. Tony did the full suspension on this. He took all the old stuff out, put the Mustang 2 into it. Small block Ford, I think it's an AOD or EOD transmission he's got into it. 8-inch Ford rear end with triangular 4 links. He did that previously, but now the project has come back. He's going to hook the exhaust, the brake lines up, and some wiring, and get it to the point where either it's going to be running or close to be running for the gentleman who owns it. So he can take it from frame rails right up to a running car if you need anything. But it's not very far away from us. Next to it is a 32 Roadster pickup. This is Tony's car. It is not for sale. It's running a 354 Hemi, I think, into it. It's traditional I-beam front end. It's currently just sitting on the jig. The rear end, I think, is a Winters quick change rear end, if I'm not mistaken. Just got to remember. There it is right there. And I think you're going to be running coilover shocks onto it with the triangular 4-link. Yeah. So this body, I never did a video onto it, but we work back and forth between the two of us. I put together this Roadster pickup body from Brookville Parts, much the same as we did on some of the other projects and stuff. Also, Tony is working on a 34 5-window coupe. It's kind of in pieces. It's a big project car. Everything is there to finish it, including the frame. It potentially is for sale, so if somebody's looking for a project like this, reach out to us. We'll put you in contact with Tony and his dad, and you could talk to him about that. And then just over here on the left-hand side, right there, this is the last 32 Roadster body that we put together on video. So some of you guys have watched the beginning to end of a 32 Roadster body. This is the body. It's completely done. It's an epoxy primer right now. It has the X support in the back to give it rigidity into it. Comes with a dash. Is it 2-inch or 3-inch chop windshield?
2-inch chop windshield frame.
Yep.
The posts, the stanchions, everything.
Everything ready to hook up,
Yep.
Including the gaskets and stuff.
It also comes with flat firewall.
And there is a flat firewall that comes with it. So if somebody is looking for a 32 Roadster body ready to go, reach out to us. We'll give you Tony and Tony's contact info. They can help with crating if necessary. It is located in Nova Scotia, so probably be more suitable for folks in Canada to buy this, but we'll work with you, or Tony will work with you, whoever is interested into it. So again, 32 Roadster body is for sale over here. So then over in the next building, we'll cover some of the other stuff over there. Over here, the pickup is a project for a friend, so we're not going to cover that, but Tony's just helping him out. There, up on the top, is the 48 Ford sedan body that's on the chassis that we just saw a couple seconds ago. That eventually, once Tony has done the work onto it, he's going to put the body back on the chassis. Are the fenders here for it? No. So the fenders will go back on when it goes back to the owner. Yeah, okay. And sitting right underneath it, some of you folks have been following us for a while, is the Moncton Coupe. The Moncton Coupe is sitting on a frame. It's got an engine, transmission, all the suspension on it. What's in it for a rear end?
8-inch Ford.
There's an 8-inch Ford rear end, I-beam with split wishbones in the front, and I believe it's got a Y-block into it.
Yeah, it's a 292.
292 with 3 barrels. Nice project. It's really close to running. I don't know how.
T5 transmission.
Okay, yeah, T5, the S10 T5
Yeah.
type. Okay. So there on the inside, there's a steering column for it. There's a transmission. No drive shaft in it yet. Full floor. But it's okay. Sorry, it's made.
I
So
have everything to do it. I have everything but the clutch pedal in it, and still have to make the floor in the front, but I have everything pretty well. Brake lines are run and fuel lines are run. I got a new tank for it, so there's a lot of stuff here for it.
Right.
I have 70s green diamond interior, original seat for it. There's a lot of neat stuff to make an old school hot rod.
So the Moncton Coupe is potentially for sale too. If somebody's really interested into it, again, reach out to us. We'll give you Tony and Tony's contact information. We're not going to mention prices on the channel. You've got to reach out to us, and we'll put you in touch with them. And then you could discuss with them your interest or whatever in the project. But the Moncton Coupe, if someone's interested, it is for sale. Then behind us is Tony's runner. Kind of can't really back up too far. This is a 32 Ford 3-window coupe. It's a Brookville body. Tony made the frame for it. It's got a Winters quick change rear end into it as well. It's got a Cadillac engine into it right now, but I think something went wrong with it, right?
Yeah, so I lost that motor late in the year here in the summer, so it's getting a new motor.
So there's a new motor to come on this. We'll cover it later, and we'll come back over again once he gets it running. But he's had this running. You've had it on the road 2 years, right?
2 years, yeah. I'm gonna
Just driver. This is Tony's pride and joy. This one here. So this is what he.
It will be painted someday.
So
It's just
gonna take her apart and paint it, but he's enjoying it as soon as he can, and like I said, once he gets another motor into it, she'll be back on the road again. But she sits low in the front. I think it's got a 5-inch drop, isn't it?
no, only 4, but the cross member's up a little higher.
Okay.
And the pickup is going to be even lower. It has a 5-inch drop axle. So
Oh, okay. The Roadster pickup's got a 5-inch drop axle over there.
Yeah,
Yeah, right on. So that kind of covers what's going on in Gaudet's hot rod shop. Actually, if you guys need it, if there's somebody locally that needs work, again, they'll do chassis work right up to finished stuff. No paint and body work. You got to get that done somewhere else. But if you want mechanical, chassis, frame, they can actually provide more services on the chassis than what we can over at Coldstream Rod Shop, because they've got the chassis jig. So if you had a 32 Ford frame that needed a little tweaking or something like that and built up, or a set of 32 frame rails that you needed turned into a chassis, he can do that. Once over where we are, once we have the chassis and it's straight, we can go forward from there. But they actually have a little more capability here to do a little more than what we do. So again, it's Anybody interested in a 32 Ford Roadster, a 32 5-window coupe, or even a project 34 5-window coupe, reach out to us and we'll put you in touch with Tony and Tony. That's it. Talk to you soon. Well, hopefully you enjoyed the visit over at Gaudet's Hot Rod Shop, saw some of the projects they have, some of the stuff there that's actually for sale. I know there's been some people in the past that reached out to me to see if I knew of stuff or where stuff is, so decided to do the visit and show you some stuff out there. Maybe there's one person out there looking for something, but anyway, that's what's going on in Gaudet's Hot Rod Shop, and the stuff, they're about 15 minutes away from us. We collaborate with them quite a bit. But here in Coldstream Rod Shop, as I was saying, the Flathead engine is ready to go out tomorrow. The 32 Ford Roadster body is ready to go tomorrow to go up to Jeff York's restoration to get painted. There's a little bit of a delay in that, but it's going now. We've stripped Brenda's Roadster chassis apart until that stuff comes back in. Over in the camera lady's chassis here, we did get the mufflers in. We went up over the rear axle. I still haven't decided whether to go have the exhaust exit behind the wheel here, come underneath the frame rails like the traditional style here, or exit out the center. I'm gonna have to decide over the next couple of days. Tell me what you guys think. What do you think is more hot rod style? And then I guess we're gonna go get this done. So anyways, there's lots going on here. There's another small project coming in here, but tune in next week to see what that is. We still have to finish off the 58 Ford cab. That's supposed to go at the middle of January. We got some paint and primer work to do on that. So there's a whole bunch of little ins and outs here going on. We're back full time here because today's January 1st. So Happy New Year to everybody, and everybody that wished us Happy New Year. Much appreciated. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to it. Doesn't cost anything. There's no commitments to do anything. It helps the channel out. So anyways, please like, share, tag, and subscribe. We'll see you next week, and hopefully you enjoy what we're doing. Everybody take care.